Hi everyone, it's Sam, NFTstatistics, and this is your Proof Daily NFT Countdown. Coming at you from an Airbnb in Denver today, back in Colorado. A lot of travel, lots to talk about today though. Sam Spratt, Chromie Squiggles, just two left of those. We'll go over the recent mints. LOTM from Bored Ape Yacht Club or Other Deed, Captain's News. Let's get right into it, starting off with a quick market overview. Volumes have really kind of been in this low range recently, really towards the low end of the range that we've been in for the past 2 years, but that hasn't necessarily been a bad thing. It has been the good kind of volume. Volumes for so long have been propped up by all these people who are dumping into blur bids, who are farming back and forth, and you've had a little bit less of that. So we've had more of the good kind of volume. What this chart looks at is the percentage of trades on blur, which are sellers dumping into bids, which are more than 0.3 ETH. What you can see is that's down to about 51%, which is the lowest that this ratio has been at basically since season 2 started for Blur. So that is all quite positive. If you look at market share, Blur did about 2/3 of the volume yesterday, a little bit higher than the 60 to 65% range that they've been in over the past week, but below that 70 to 80% range that they've been in for most of the past few months. Having a look at unique buyers, haven't looked at this metric for a while, but looking at the past 2 months, it's been pretty steady. A little bit of a pickup yesterday versus the 2 days prior, but nothing really all that out of the ordinary versus where we've been over the past few weeks. Large cap index, and I think this is the story, is just that prices have continued to rally. I think when you look at this chart, clearly still a bit of a downtrend, but really picking up from the low levels that we reached a week ago. I want to look at 1 week returns across the large cap index. What you can see here is that Captains, DGODs, Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem, CloneX, all up 20% or more. Azuki, Coda, both up more than 15%. The only weakness in this has been Milady. Milady does tend to do well when everything does poorly, so not too surprising to see it not really rally as much when everything else does very well. Mid-cap index also rallying. Just looking at one-day returns here, had some strength in Sappy Seals. Sappy Seals has been on a bit of a tear recently, up about 2x over the past week or so. Cyber Brokers, Kampai Pandas also up 6%. One project I wanted to dive into is Captains. You can see that this really has rallied off the lows from about 3.5 to 4.2 ETH floor price right now. Having a look at what happened, they announced in their Discord and over Spaces, they gave a lot more detail into the upcoming Memecoin drop. Now, they did not tweet about it, but this guy, Loki the Bird, did tweet about it. So we're just going to grab some of the data from him. They said there'll be a $69 million value at launch, 69 billion tokens at 0.001 cent. 25% goes to community, invests over a year, I believe. 10 to 12% goes to what they call a community fire sale. Now, all Memeland NFT holders will get token. Presumably, you, the real MVP, the top tier, will get more than Captains, which will get more than Potatoes. They also said that rarity factor will matter, and this is something that people have speculated for a long time. The different types of Captains trade at very different valuations, and they're going to factor that into how much token you get. They also said there will be a 12-month lockup for contributors. So that's nice to see. The project and the token have to do well before the contributors get to make money off of it. Looking at the different types, remember there's Alien, Kaiju, Kong, Shark. There are actually 6 types. These are just 4 of them, but the aliens presumably will get the most token, then Kaiju, Kongs, Shark, etc. Now, one thing I also noticed is that there are 2 wallets. One is called 69fund.eth. This wallet just swept a ton of Captains yesterday, part of the strength. And then there's another wallet with swept Potatoes. So seeing a little bit of kind of whale behavior here going there following that announcement. Looking back at the broader market, trade returns, I always like to look at how flippers are doing. What you can see is that people who are flipping have been in profits for the past 7 days. So nice to see that. The flippers making a bit of profit. Again, there aren't as many of them, but people who have sold NFTs they bought less than 7 days before, over the past week have generally been profitable, coming off a bunch of losses following the DGOD's announcement. In terms of our projects, 3 projects did more than 10 ETH of volume. Let's have a quick look. A Chromie Squiggle, I believe it's a 7 color spread, sold for 17 ETH. There were 2 Meridian sales, one for 7.1 ETH here, and then a Strands of Solitude. It has that night dark palette, which tends to trade at a much higher floor. That traded for 6 ETH. I'm sorry. And then a Dynamic Slices by Pixel Q sold for 1.5 ETH. This was a collection, but I believe below the floor. And it was Jordan Lyle who bought that. Again, Jordan Lyle's had a very successful launch with the Hearts and Crafts. So nice to see some of that money go into art blocks. Second thing to talk about, 66 new Squiggles released by Snowfro. Now, just for background here, in the first 2 months, about 9,000 Squiggles were minted and were created. And Snowfro decided that he would keep 1,000 to not be minted until really just kind of over time. And he's gradually given those to people. He hasn't really kept any for himself, but he's gradually given those to people we wanted to gift unminted Squiggles to. And right now we're down to all of them except for 2. He tweeted 2 days ago that he was going to be minting 66 more and giving them to a lot of leaders in the space, a few to his family. Also, I saw Jack Butcher got one, Jaleel got one, Jordan Lyle got one, a few other kind of prominent figures in the space who are doing great things in NFTs also got unminted Squiggles. And if you look at them, it's always fun to see what a just nice group of Squiggles look like together. These are some of the unminted ones, or some of the ones that were recently minted, some of those 66. Now, when we did prior batches of mints, we got some crazy Squiggles. The Ghost Harmonic. We had a full spectrum recently. I believe we've had a couple hypers in the past couple hundred. You didn't get any of those true fireworks in this batch, but you did have a bunch of awesome Squiggles. There were 2 pipes. Pipes are the rarest type here in this upper right. Here you have a low color spread bold, which is just gorgeous. There's one in the lower right. It has to be one of my favorite harmonics. It almost looks like a perfect spectrum or a full spectrum, but it is not. But it's just a really aesthetic harmonic, a bunch of fuzzies. So congrats to everybody who got one there. There are still 2 remaining. And the first one of those, or the last one, is going to go to LACMA. And the second one is a special commemorative thing using Snowfro's words that he will announce soon. Here is just kind of the pace of mints over the past couple of years. The blue lines are where they've had lots of mints, and then the red is cumulative mints. So you can see the vast majority were done in those first couple months, but you've also had a bunch since then. Third thing to talk about, Sam Spratt dropping SuperRare one of ones, also made an announcement about the winner of the Monument game. I think by the time you see it, we will know that, but we do not know right now while I'm recording it. But here he is saying that he is doing these drops, 3 one-of-ones to SuperRare Genesis pass holders. And what he has decided to do is pull 3 characters from the Monument game, turn those into one-of-ones. So just an awesome idea. Really great way to pull from the Monument game and create something for the SuperRare pass holders, which he has been committed to for a long time. So it's just kind of interesting timing that came out right after the Monument game ended. These are the 3. One is called Neophyte, one is called Wheel Weaver, one is called Hadassah. And I believe, those are being announced who gets those today. Here's the broader picture where you can see where those images are taken from on the Monument game. Now, a little bit background on who these are going to. So SuperRare Genesis Pass was a mint last year for SuperRare holders, or for really anybody. You don't have to be a SuperRare holder, but for SuperRare created this. And they've just every single month, they do one-of-ones, 3 one-of-ones, and they also do a collection where everybody gets one of those collections. So this is in the one-of-ones, but you can see that Coldy has done a collection, Otherworld has done a collection, OSF has done one. In the one-of-ones, here you have Alien Queen, here you have Drifter Shoots. So a lot of really cool one-of-ones have been dropped. And this month, it's Sam Spratt's turn. Now, if you look at the price of these passes, they were all the way up at 40 ETH, and they've gone down pretty substantially since then. Not too surprising, because every month, is one less NFT that you're going to get and one less raffle that you're going to be part of. But when people realize that Sam Spratt one-of-ones were on the table, you can see we really had a very sharp rally, and those passes are around 14 ETH right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens after these 3 are selected. Cool stuff there. Really just more great work from Sam Spratt. And then lastly, let's talk about Legends of Mara beta. Other Side dropped this tweet saying that next month they are releasing the open beta for Legends of the Mara. And there's a lot more to come. They've partnered with Faraway, GG, and are building a major expansion in Unity, but they want to get the earlier version in the community's hands so you can play and provide feedback while they keep building. This is a chance to learn about the powers of the other deeds, the plots of land, earn rewards that will come into play during future LOTM expansions. They also said that the LOTM game will evolve over the coming months, and more capabilities will be uncovered as the launch nears. But right now, one of the decisions you have to make is what type of vessel you nest on your other deed. Now, here's a thread from Hunter Solaire, and I would just recommend going there. There's so much detail in all of these games, and I'm certainly not an expert on all the detail, but Hunter did put a nice thread out here where he kind of explains all the different details. In terms of the price, Other Deed seems to like it. The price has had a nice little rally over the past week, just like the broader ecosystem, and Bored Ape Yacht Club has as well. So always nice to see that. And then lastly, let's just talk about a couple notable art sales. Not a whole lot of art sales since I did the show on Tuesday, just 2 that I wanted to call out. Nothing really over 5 ETH, but a couple really cool pieces. This one called Alter Ego by Eva Eller. The buyer is Nerf Pidgey, sold for 4 ETH. Eva Eller has a couple other one-of-ones. This one on the right is unsold. This one on the left sold for 4.2 ETH. And the way she describes this piece, basically just talking about what an alter ego is, and you can see that in the image. Alter ego is a distinct or separate personality or identity that exists within an individual. It's often seen as a second self or a hidden aspect of one's character that can be quite different from their everyday persona. She said this piece was very personal to her, and it's just very cool art. She kind of always meshes digital art with this very more historic looking just art style. So cool stuff from her. And then lastly, this piece called Baby Grandfathers by Jeff Frost. The buyer was NorCal guy, sold for 2.69 ETH. And it's another piece where you got to see the animation because it really has an evolution that it goes through. The artist describing the piece says this is transportive to a sublime desert landscape where life and death unfold in intricate patterns and textures, despite the destruction and decay that are ever present in the desert. Baby Grandfather is a testament to the power of transformation and the resilience of life. Cool stuff. Congrats to the buyer and the seller on those pieces. That is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, we can't do a show tomorrow or Monday. They're both days off for Proof. Monday, of course, Labor Day in the U.S. Tomorrow is a Proof holiday, but we will be back on Tuesday. I'll actually be in Korea then. I always like to do a show, find a way to bring content. So perhaps tomorrow or on Monday, we'll find a way to do some content as a live stream or something like that. But we will see how it goes. Hope you have a great weekend if I don't talk to you, but we will talk to you soon. Have a great one.